All right, patch naughty boys. So we start out with. Oh, you can see Mage Fire right there. Alright, we're gonna start out with Druid. So, balance. New Moon got buffed, sure. Solstice now causes shooting stars to fall 200% more often. Okay, so nerf to that. That's pretty solid. Stellar Drift has been redesigned. Starfall damage increased by 25% and allows you to cast while moving while Starfall is active, but it has a 15-second cooldown.
What was the cooldown before? So I don't know, Druids.
Let me... What is it now? Let me open it up, because I can actually just check this.
See, to me it looks like they've got a buff.
I reckon a lot of these changes are so that they don't actually have to change Convoke the Spirits. They can sort of make more impactful changes to Druid as a whole, and Convoke will naturally get tweaked around it. If that makes sense. I've been disconnected? What do you mean I've been disconnected? Okay, I'm in. Who knows?
Wow. Like, I'm using my internet to bring up the stream and it's just like, no.
No. Do you want to check on your internet and see if we have audio? Because I've futzed with a whole bunch of settings.
I'm trying.
A double webcam, Riley, right? How crazy is it?
Hi, Riley.
You can just see Jerome's arm in the background. I like it. So,
hairy arm. Hang on. Here we go.
So, Stellar Drift has been redesigned. Increases Starfall's duration by 2 seconds, its damage by 15%, and allows you to cast while moving. Which is... So really, it's a must-pick talent, because when you use Starfall all the time, it's your big AoE ability anyway, but it lets you cast while moving, right? So now... Increased by 20% allows you to cast while moving, but it has a 15-second cooldown. Okay. So it just means it can't proc more than every 15 seconds, I suppose. They're just adding an internal cooldown to it.
Well, I mean, if it didn't have a cooldown, you'd be getting Starfall damage for 25% increase all the time.
Which you do now, and that's great.
Oh, so it's kind of like it's a nerf then.
Yeah, it's a nerf because it adds a cooldown to Starfall, which it didn't have before. You could just cast it all the time. But I feel like it... How long does it last anyway? It lasts 10 seconds anyway. So it's really only adding in a 5-second buff. A 5-second barrier in between. So not too bad. The free Starfall from Oneth's Clear Vision, which is a legendary, ignores the Stellar Drift cooldown. Okay, cool. Yep, sure. That makes sense with that change. And Balance of All Things, sure, changed one of the legendaries. On to the fun part. You can already see just here, reduced.
Do you know that the whole Shadowlands, that fire has never been buffed? Never. It's been arcane and frost, and then
Fire doesn't need a buff.
It does now, since everyone's catching up.
Because everyone's catching up, is that what it is?
Well,
you're gonna understand this way better than I am. So Flame Strike has been nerfed by 10% damage.
Yes. So currently it sits at like it's one of the most used AoE spells in Mythics. It's what we do, and it coincides with the conduit that we use. So dropping down 10% means it's getting nerfed quite a bit. I think 10% is crazy.
Flame Patch talent damage reduced by 10%. What does Flame Patch do?
So again, Flame Strike. It's Flame Strike based. So Flame Strike leaves this is what it does. Flame Strike leaves it behind a patch of flames in which enemies burn within for 810 fire damage over 8 seconds. That's getting nerfed by
10%
on top of the Flame Strike getting nerfed.
Yeah.
So Destroying Flame Strike.
Kindling cooldown reduction for combust reduced to 1 second was 1.5 seconds, so that's also a nerf to combustion.
No, that's a good thing, isn't it?
No, cooldown reduction for
Hang on.
combustion reduced from 1.5 to 1. So I think it's the reduction of kindling. What's the wording on kindling?
So kindling your fireball, pyroblast, fire blast, and phoenix flames. Critical strikes reduce the remaining cooldown by 1. Yeah, it is a nerf. Cool. Yep.
Marksman hunters do not need a buff.
No.
An Infernal Cascade conduit fire damage bonus reduced by 20%.
So that one shits me the most. So last night I picked up the item level 213 for Infernal Cascade. I'm currently at 200, so I've gone up. But now it's getting nerfed by 20%. So it's almost like fire's not where you want to be in 9.1, but we'll see what happens when they test it out. And
we'll see how it falls. I would imagine, realistically, in Mythic Plus, fire is still probably going to be best, and I think most of these changes are around Mythic Plus. Because in raiding, flame, like, it's AoEs that are getting nerfed, right?
Massively, yeah.
But your single target's probably still going to be about the same.
Well, the is it Infernal? Was it Infernal Cascade? That's your fire blast. So that is similar to what used to have in BFA, where you had, can't remember what it was, but your fire blast was buffed. So now they're nerfing it again. So essentially what Infernal Cascade does is while your combustion's active, your Fire Blast currently is granting me 13.5% increased damage for 5 seconds, stacking up to 2 times.
Yep.
They're going to nerf that by 20%.
Of course. Demon Hunter doesn't need a buff or a nerf, it needs a full-on change. Yes, Demon Hunter needs to be reworked right now. It feels like it's lacking some sort of core part of its rotation. Priest, hey! It does. So Demon Hunter, the weird thing with Demon Hunter is everyone else get a whole bunch of utility added and Demon Hunter still has none. In single target,
I feel like Demon
enough.
Hunters are just, they're like fire mages, they haven't been buffed.
Yeah, they haven't had the increase in scope the other classes had this X pack. Priest, so we both have a priest.
Yes, but I am holy, strictly holy.
And I am disciplined.
Well, that helps.
Spirit Shell cooldown increased to 90 seconds was 60 seconds. Sure. It's not a huge change. Spirit Shell is your one that just adds barriers to everyone. It's a raid cooldown nerf. Symbol of Hope has been redesigned. Bolster the morale of party or raid members within 40 yards. They each recover 60 seconds of cooldown on a major defensive ability. And they regain 12% of their missing mana over 5 seconds.
Very different to what it is. So at the moment, it's got the same raid wide 40 yards, but it only does restoring 2% of their missing mana, and every 0.9 seconds through 4.4 seconds. So it has nothing to do with that first part that you mentioned.
Okay.
Which is 60 seconds of cooldown on major defensive abilities, which is pretty good.
It'll be interesting to see what major defensive abilities or on a major defensive ability means.
I think as a mage, my major defensive would be Ice Block.
Yep. But I wonder when you come to like warrior or druid or like as a tank from a tank perspective, major defensive ability, is it going to just be whichever one went on cooldown most recently?
That's true. No,
because like as a warrior, is it shield wall that goes on? Is it last stand that goes on? Like what actually? And if it's shield wall that comes off, 60 seconds off shield wall will let me cast shield wall again, basically instantly. Because with the legendary stacking, shield wall's cooldown gets down to about 60 seconds anyway.
That seems very overpowered.
Yeah.
But there is a cooldown on this as well. It's a 5-minute cooldown, so
yeah, it makes sense. It becomes a big raid cooldown, and to be fair to Holy, yes, Holy pumps numbers, but it doesn't have anywhere near the raid utility discipline does.
No, that is very true. I guess maybe that's why they're opening this up, to give you a bit of a buff.
And I
Extra buff.
agree, Riley. You need 3 to 4 abilities that are useful, not just flavor, to make the rotation more complex. Completely agree. Because Demon Bite, Demon Blade, Sigil, Met, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, Met is over. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 is just not interesting gameplay. And Shadow, one of the conduit, has been nerfed. Void Bolt damage. Okay, sure. Shadow was in a good position anyway, damage-wise. I'm surprised. Actually, the thing that surprises me here, there isn't a single change to PI. Not a change to PI, not a change to the PI legendary, and there needs to be.
Yeah, it's pretty overpowered, eh?
It's overpowered, but I read a lot of stuff about priests saying that it's not a fun button to push anymore, because it's a damage increase that you give to someone else, even if you're a DPS, right? It's a button you push for someone else.
You basically focus that on your highest performer. That is the role of PI. You want to put it on someone who is a bursty class or a high performer.
Yeah. But it basically pigeonholes your legendary choice as well, because there's a legendary that means it works similar to how Innovate works, where if you PI someone, you get 50% PI. And that's the legendary. And you basically have to pick it, because now your raid leader is always going to say, this is who you PI.
That might come, though. I'm sure.
This is, Rogue. The shield from Cloaked in Shadow's Conduit is now 50% larger, lasts for 4 seconds, previously had no duration, and no longer decays while the rogue is out of stealth.
Because they need a buff.
Yeah, it's a buff here, it's more, and it doesn't decay, but it only lasts for 4 seconds now. Interesting, sure. Warlock, more absorb shield on Dark Pack, okay. 216% more absorb shield?
Yeah, that's a march.
Yes, Samuel, that is which kitty have you got? I don't remember your cat's name.
Curtis.
That's
Sorry.
Curtis.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. This is Curtis. He recently had dental surgery a week ago. He's doing good. He's got a couple of broken ribs. I'm a good cat owner. As you can see, he was making some bread rolls on my legs, so he's doing great.
Destro, Chaos Bolt damage increased by 10%. Did Chaos Bolt need a buff? No.
Did Warlocks need a buff? No.
I suppose Destruction is still kind of weak compared to Affliction, but I would expect a buff to go to Demonology rather than Destruction, for sure. And Affliction, nerf to Malefic Rapture, excellent. Agony damage increased by 20%, interesting, as opposed to make up for the DPS loss in Malefic Rapture. Shadow Embrace buffed, but is now single target. That is huge for Arena. I don't know what this conduit does, but 53% nerf is pretty rough, whatever it does. What does Focused Malignancy Conduit actually do?
Let's have a look.
Focused Malignancy Conduit. Malefic Rapture deals 15% increased damage to targets with unstable affliction. Just another nerf.
Another nerf for Malefic.
Yeah.
Malefic Rapture.
Sacrilash has been redesigned. Corruption damage is increased by 25%, and each time corruption deals damage, it extends the duration of all your curses active on the target by 2 seconds.
That's nice.
Yeah, okay, that's nice. It's less refreshing. I have Night Terrors about Chaos Bolt. You'll have Night Terrors now that it does 10% more damage. Alright, Covenants. This is kind of... Is that it? Is that all the class changes?
That's the class changes. I mean, it is still, PTR, and it is still very early. So I would like to see Fire Mages not nerfed that much.
Okay, but... Okay. Where's Demon Hunter changes? Where's Protection Warrior changes?
Yeah, warriors need a good change.
Warriors need a dramatic change because Condemn in PvP is too strong and Protection is too weak. Although Protection will get stronger with more secondary stats, so maybe they're worried with the new secondary stat balance that things will change. But Demon Hunters need a significant change. They feel garbage. Although Kayla seems to enjoy hers, so who knows?
It's an enjoyable class, but is it a good DPS class, though, at the moment?
No, not really. Demon Hunters are in a great spot in Mythic Plus if they're a tank, and that's kind of the only situation where they're good.
Like, yeah.
And I would have expected their tanking to get a minor nerf just to bring it in line with everybody else. Demon Hunter is balanced fully on how much leech you have in PvP. Yeah. Alright, so New Covenant campaign chapters, we expected that. 40 more renown levels? That feels like too many.
It's just more... I felt that it was too many to begin with, because you get so... Like, you get your stupid cosmetic stuff, and you get your really unrelatable stuff to your WoW.
You know, this is going to be really bad, especially as someone who streams WoW as much as I do, that I haven't finished a single Covenant campaign. I literally don't care. Like, all I want out of the game is to log in, raid, and log out. That's how I like to play. That's what I want to do in the game. Which is why I'm grateful they have catch-up.
I like the renown side of it, and I like, you know, grinding that, because I'm a kind of WoW player that likes to log in for a purpose rather than just do mythics or raids. But I don't like that the last like 5 levels of that was just trash. It wasn't really anything towards bettering you as a player.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
Give us a good like an amount that is hard to get or something. That's what I'd like to see.
All existing soulbinds now have 4 new rows, 3 new conduit slots, 2 new traits, and 1 kappa trait. Is a kappa trait, I suppose, like the end of the talent tree, so to speak? I guess they're
the bottom one where it's like you get this extra stuff. Yeah.
I have just unlocked the bottom on my druid, actually. I think soulbinds. Where's my? Yeah. Sure.
I haven't finished my necro.
I'm only renown 33, so...
The last 3 levels, like I'm 37, but the last 3 ones, I get a companion, I get the mount, and then I get the title. Which, I like the title, but I don't really care about the other stuff to do the renown campaign.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Some changes to universal effects. Necrolord, Venthyr. You know, it tells you everything that you need to know about the current state of WoW. That it'll say things like this, and I have no idea what they mean.
Yeah, that's pretty shit. Like I've got a Kyrian character, I've got a Necro character. I don't have Venthyr, but even though I can see those for Kyrian and Necro, and I'm like, I'd have to double check what it means.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue what it means. PvP eye level change is nice. I'm sure we'll get to it in a second. New raid. I'm actually, I must admit, I'm very excited for this raid. For a few main reasons. 1, another Kel'Thuzad fight. Sick. 2, Nazul is coming back. Also sick. 3, I get to fucking beat on Sylvanas. And
that's not a cool thing to say.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. I'm gonna fuck that bitch up. And her bow, I saw some dynamiting from her bow. Her bow has like a unique hunter only effect, and it changes how aimed shot works. It's actually like pretty cool. Quite cool. The following encounters will be available for testing. Sure, Taragu, Guardian are the first ones. Cool. Sure. I'm probably not gonna raid test. Yeah, that bow changes kill shot. It's very exciting. Items, Imperial. So, yeah, go ahead.
Just jump back to the raids and dungeons.
Yes.
Are those Tara, Guru, and Guardian? Are they the new dungeons?
No, they're new fights within the raid.
Oh, so it doesn't even mention. So they're not even testing the dungeon yet.
No, not testing the mega dungeon yet, which is the
Oh.
pirate dragon.
That's exciting. That made me laugh. I'm very happy for Pirate Dragon.
I'm excited for pirate dragon. I think that'll be sick. Taragru is the big dude that chases you in.
Oh, the one that's terrifying, and once he like gets near you, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the one that
I
chases
don't
you in
like him.
Torghast. So he's a boss now in the new raid,
Sanctum of Domination.
and he no longer exists in Torghast.
Wow. What
Yeah.
does that even mean for Torghast?
They haven't released Torghast on the PTR yet, so.
Ooh.
And Guardian of the First Ones sounds interesting because there's a lot of talk in this about like the first ones and the first one artifact. I think it's a very like Halo situation where, you know, like actually it might even be more like if you haven't watched Battlestar Galactica and care about spoilers, you need to mute now. But you should have watched Battlestar Galactica by now. It sounds very Battlestar Galactica, right? Like at the end where it turns out that like they were the humans all along, but in the past.
I'm so sorry to say this, but I've never watched it.
It's worth watching. It's a great show. Everyone, you're okay to unmute now.
But
if you
how
did,
would they know to
how would
mute
they
and then
know?
unmute?
Okay to unmute now if you muted. Give it a little thumbs up on the screen so they know. How else could I explain it? It's kind of like imagine if Star Wars at the end of the Star Wars movie, where they like land on Earth, and then it turns out that like the long ago, far away, they just forgot everything, and now they're humans. Imperial Ordnance Trinket now puts other unused trinkets on a 40-second cooldown when used. What is Imperial Ordnance Trinket? Imperial Ordnance Trinket?
The blue item?
Yeah, apparently.
That's what I'm seeing.
Sure. This item can
I've
be
never even
purchased in
heard of it.
Oribos.
Okay. That
Sure.
seems like not a massive thing.
Drops in the Spires of Ascension. Sure. I'm excited that needed a nerf. Cool. PvP changes. New PvP talent. Doesn't tell me what it is.
Shroud of
Heartstop Aura
Winter.
has been moved. Heartstop Aura. Is that the one that slowly decays your health while you're near it? Shroud of Winter.
Yeah.
What does Shroud of Winter, the PvP talent?
Shroud of Winter does enemies within 8 yards of you become shrouded in winter, reducing the range of the spells and abilities by 30%. So it's a big defensive.
Yeah, okay. Mage.
I want to talk about it.
Okay.
So just, I know there's kleptomania there, which currently is used by all of us, but only Arcane get that after this comes out. But Dampen Magic has had a horrendous life. So we had Dampen Magic up until, I think it was like, I don't know, Legion. Someone's probably going to quote me different on that, but
It was
they
a
got
green
rid
buff.
of Dampen Magic. Yeah. And then they brought it back, and I was like, yay, we've got it back. Not that I use it, but that's nice. And now they're taking it away again. Thanks, Blizzard.
Thanks, Blizzard.
But I
have just realized that I'm recording this to my local drive, which is almost full.
That's gonna be, yeah, a lot going on in there.
So let's just quickly, you guys are all going to see my horrific desktop because I never actually look at my icons. Just going to quickly delete that. Now, yay! Now I have like 15 gig available again. Exciting. Okay, go ahead, Catharna.
Oh, no, I was jumping ahead. Please, you continue.
Alright, so Dampen Magic is being removed. Okay.
Again, sore spot with me. Rest of the world doesn't care.
Do we not care because it's not useful? Like what?
It magical damage over time effects deal 10% less damage to you. So it only, I don't know if it's like I don't think it's a buff. I don't remember if they've changed it to like a 10-second thing or whatever
Reduces
it is.
magic taken by up to 10 and healing by up to 20. So it reduces healing taken as well?
You put it on somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
New PvP talent Arcanosphere. Arcane Blast now deals 20% more damage in PvP. Okay, so...
Which is nice because there's no arcane mages in PvP.
No, that's just a straight buff to PvP. Arcane.
Yeah. I have to say this. As soon as I read Ring of Fire, I thought of all of the trade to chat and said anal Ring of Fire. That's on me. I'm using that.
Yeah. I just go to Johnny Cash, so.
But that seems a lot less sinister.
I always think of Anal Thunder Fury, the Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. What does the new PvP talent Ring of Fire do?
I don't know. Let's have a look. PTR. Wow, because it came up with Johnny Cash.
Yeah, it would.
So it's kind of like the Ring of Frost. So Ring of Frost, you slow them, but this one is Ring of Fire. For 8 seconds, the target, anyone goes in that ring, will burn for 24% of their total health over 6 seconds, which is amazing.
Okay. Control Burn has been redesigned. Ignite now deals 100% more damage while combustion is not active.
That seems broken.
But aren't you always trying to combust? Isn't that the point of being a fire mage?
Maybe not in PvP. I don't PvP as anything else but fire, but I use combust as much as I can. So
World in Flames now causes Flame Strike to reduce the cast time of Flame Strike by 50%. Was 1.25 seconds, and increases its damage by 30% for 3 seconds, was 20% permanently.
So they buff Flame Strike in PvP but nerf it in Mythics. That's cool.
Cool. And Frost, new PvP talent Ice Wall. I'm supposing that will work like May Ice Wall in Overwatch?
Shadowland.
Frostbolt now deals 100% more damage in PvP combat. Was 15%. That's a pretty significant buff to Frostbolt.
That is big. Which is interesting because you've always, like, you know that as a mage, if you're going to go into PvP, you want to be Frost. So that seems like a massive buff, Frost. But yes, the Ice Wall is a 30-yard long wall of ice. That has 40... The wall has 40% of your maximum health and lasts up to 15 seconds. That's crazy.
So that is May Ice Wall from Overwatch.
It is. It is. They've definitely... I know that they've, created Overwatch, but they're just sharing spells now.
Riley, I agree. I think the Ignite change is so that when you're not bursting all over someone, you're not useless. But Fire Mage is never useless in PvP anyway, because you just burst and something dies. It's like hitting Convoke the Spirits. Deep Shatter now increases the damage of Frostbolt by 75%, was 150%. That makes sense because Frostbolt just got its damage increased by 100%. And Burst of Cold now increases the damage of Cone of Cold by 600%, was 400%. So a significant increase to Cone of Cold.
Wow. Which is pretty hefty because Cone of Cold is an instant. So...
Yeah, instant, and it has a slow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to admit I know nothing about Monk in PvP. So
sorry, can't help you.
I'm going to run through these really quickly just while I look. None of these look huge to me. I don't know what the new PvP talents do.
They all got new talents, which is pretty cool.
It's the invasion of the bots again. Let's ban. Sorry. I always get these. I've done my best to get rid of these. Stop it. Stop it. Don't come through on my chat. I hate it. Okay. Okay, cool. Skipping Monk. Priest. Improved Master Spell. Sounds good. Shadow Lasting Plague PvP talent has been removed.
But what is new PvP talent? I want to see what that means because currently Master Spell is cast and it takes...
Ooh, your camera just vanished.
Oh. Oh, sorry. Am I back?
You are still Lagon.
Oh
Oh,
no.
you're back. You're back. Welcome back.
I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
Kayla.
So I was hoping they were going to reduce Master Spell through that because it's a long cast, so it's reduced to 15 seconds for a priest. And the mana cost is reduced by 30%, which is huge.
Okay.
But can say I've never PvP'd as a priest.
Master Spell has some pretty decent uses in PvP because it's one of the only things that can remove certain buffs. Like you can Master Spell Pally Bubble, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Rogue Mark of the Master Assassin duration has been reduced by 40%. So nerf, and Assassination, a new talent, and Neurotoxin has been removed. Nothing crazy. Assassination isn't played super often in PvP anyway. Warlock, Soul Shatter has been removed. Okay. Don't really know what a lot of these do. Oh shit. This is huge. Chaos Bolt now deals 40% more damage in PvP. Was 15. That is on top of the 10% buff that they have up here to Chaos Bolt.
No, but is it though, considering this is PvP?
Yes, because it's 10% across the board, and then in PvP it's another 40% on top.
Well, that's broken. Guess I'm making a Warlock.
It looks like Destruction Warlock in PvP is going to become even more terrifying. Focused Chaos PvP talent has been removed. I bet you had something to do with Chaos Bolt, for sure. Chaos Bolt damage is increased by 40%, but no longer strikes additional targets afflicted by Havoc. Okay, so this is hilarious. They have given them this baseline and gotten rid of the negative. So it also has just freed up a PvP talent for them, and is a buff on that PvP talent. Warlock is terrifying now in PvP. Death Knight, Druid, Warrior, and Mage have new rune carving abilities. Cool, new legendaries. I will want to see what some of these are. Especially, I want to see Mage, Druid, and Warrior. Death Knight, sure I've played it, but I'm not super familiar with it. Some existing powers have been updated. Okay, and the new zone. So we're getting like Legion assaults in the new zone.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. I didn't like the Legion assault. It just needs more work. I don't even do my table, like the followers table. I don't even do that.
I don't do that either. This is interesting though. Wait, where is it? Zoom in on this boy. Zoom in. Zoom in. Dreadlord questlines. I don't know if you're as much of a lore buff as I am, Catharna, but
probably not. You have World of Warcraft books. I don't.
The idea of dreadlords being brought into the game as like actual agents of the jailer is amazing. If they make a Nathrazim Covenant, I will join it, which I assume is already Venthyr, but the dreadlords have always been like the master manipulators of the World of Warcraft universe, and we're going to finally like dive into their things. More assaults and tormentors of Torghast.
Can I just point out, jumping down there into the comments, someone said, nice to see Demon Hunter changes look like back to the BFA Legion patch update.
Yeah, what? Nice to see the Demon Hunter changes? The sarcasm is real.
It is palatable. It's yeah, I feel for Demon Hunter players.
Dreadlords make double agents look loyal. Yes. Absolutely nothing for tanks. Tanks need something. Yeah, no changes to Paladin either.
They don't need a change.
There's not really a lot in this, considering the weight we've had for 9.1. It doesn't feel that juicy.
There's another Demon Hunter Another one that says, I think maybe Demon Hunters get deleted. Not a single mention for change.
These
Did they
patch
have,
notes
like,
are a gigantic joke or horribly incomplete.
it is PTR patch notes though, right? So it's still completely not set in stone, and there's still stuff that can change once everything gets tested.
Yes. It does say here, I don't see anything on the PTR about flying, but flying has been confirmed. It is a thing that is coming. In this patch. I think once you hit Renown 80, you probably get it. It's probably the Renown 80.
I wonder when they'll cap the renown, if it just keeps going forever.
Yeah.
Like the neck, the Heart of Azeroth. She seems like that.
And then here, Sylvanas Bow. Replaces your kill shot with Wailing Arrow, which deals 446 shadow damage to your target and an additional 165 to all nearby targets. Lesser creatures struck by Wailing Arrow are stunned for 6 seconds. What is lesser creatures? Patch 9.3 Renown increased to 250. Raid Quiver. Every 5 shots trigger Withering Fire, striking up to 5 enemies in front of you for 195. I'm interested to see what this looks like too, because this is a back piece. I wonder if it'll look like a suite. Like a full cloak quiver. That would be cool. But you can see, I like that the names of the items is just raid.
That's a lot. Oh.
Study the tome to increase your damage done to the targeted enemy. Studying an enemy removes the benefit of any prior studies. Okay, interesting. Regular stuff. I'm mostly interested in trinkets. Study the tome to increase your damage. Same jam. Same jam. Okay. The Eye of the Jailer. Spell description. Does something amazing. Your spells and abilities have a high chance to DNT. So this is like the new version of the quantum device. Okay. The 9. Oh, it's the same. It just literally is. Does something amazing. Remnant of Nazul. I'm excited. Yeah, okay. They haven't put in all the items yet. Old Warrior's Soul. Gain Undying Rage and Endless Duty. Undying Rage. While in combat, your rage builds, increasing your haste by X every 10 seconds. When a nearby ally's health drops below 50%, sacrifice Y of your health to heal them for Y? What? That sounds rough.
Does something amazing.
Does something amazing. I'm excited to fight Kel'Thuzad. You are accompanied by a spectral familiar. When you heal a target below X percentage health, the familiar will rush to them and heal them. Okay, cool. Passively increases your damage. Also, when you die, become a semi-lich for 20 seconds. I want to be a semi-lich for 20 seconds. That sounds cool. Is there model for raid bow? That does not look like Sylvanas' bow.
That's a very fairy-like thing.
Yeah, that's very Night Fae. That's probably not the right model.
It says Arden will go back up a little bit.
Yeah. Bow Ardenwield. I'm guessing this is not the right bow.
Don't think.
Raid Quiver. And that is not the correct. Yeah, okay. They're not right yet either. Let's have a look. Venari Reputation, no longer required to enter the extra zones in the Maw. That's a good change. And also Venari Reputation is account-wide now.
Which is helpful.
Yeah. Pirate Dragon coming in 9.1. Boss name, model, and abilities. Look at this guy. He looks so good.
I think we need it. Wait, how do we get it?
How do we get what?
That dragon thing.
It's not a mount.
Oh, sorry. Kyle said it was a mount.
No, this is a boss. This is the pirate dragon. I love the pirate hook tail. That's great. I would ride this as a mount though. This would be a sick mount.
If that ever becomes a mount, that's our Walk the Gangplank mount.
I love that it's got like a little pirate eye patch on the dragon.
So disappointed that's not a mount. Shattered.
Yeah. It would be an incredible mount. Hook tail. He has a name, a model, and a purpose. Time Captain Hooktail. He commands the infamous pirate ship the Sea Cucumber. Oh, it's a her.
Oh.
Oh, and
she has Toma.
She bloodlusts her allies, which is interesting. Cool. Yep. First 2 comments. Gib pirate dragon mount. Dear Lord, I wish this was a mount. Well, I think that's it. I think that's all the major changes, right? There's nothing... Oh, actually, this one is kind of interesting as well. They're adding Raider IO into the game.
So you don't need it.
Yeah.
It's an add-on.
Yeah, so they've been working with the Raider IO team to actually add in Raider IO into the main game, similar to how they did with Gear Score, where Gear Score got put in as eye level into the game.
I think they did that because everything is based on item level now. Like, you don't get into a group unless you have item level, and Blizzard's like capitalizing on it.
Yeah, well, I think it similar when eye level sort of first started in Wrath of the Lich King. If someone hadn't said to me, hey, your eye level is too low to join, I never would have gone, what the fuck is eye level? And now that we have a game where you don't even message people to join groups, it's literally just like a giant list with all the groups, and you just click join and you get declined and declined and declined and declined. Some people probably don't realize that Raider IO even exists or that they need it.
Yeah, well, I didn't know about it until I actually joined our guild, so...
Life cocoon.
I know that I have, like, had groups where someone has signed up, I've moused over their character, seen they don't have a Raider IO score, and just declined them. So, it's definitely a thing that happens. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that Blizzard's adding it in. Pretty much everyone uses it anyway. This will make it universal. And hopefully, and this is the serious hope, tie achievements and rewards to IO.
That'd be nice.
Similar to how PvP rating works, right? You can become duelist, rival, gladiator. I want to be the duelist, the rival, and the gladiator of Raider IO. Give me a fancy title at 2k IO, at 3k IO. Imagine hitting 3k IO and getting, like, Conqueror as a title.
I just hit 1,000 IO on my mage, and I felt like I needed something celebratory because
yeah, you need like a little.
That
like,
was a big thing.
Give me like my achievement or like my fancy transmog, and this could lead into things like dungeon sets, which I think would be a great addition to the game. I see no issue. I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like there should be raid gear, Mythic Plus gear, PvP gear.
Isn't that what it used to be?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was what was easy with life. Up until what it was Wrath of the Lich King that I remember was the last actual time there was specific PvP vendors for that like area.
Yeah. And yes, you could be fully PvP geared and pop into a raid and still be good in the raid, but you weren't optimal. And I think that's okay. I think if you're a hardcore PvP player and you become optimal in PvP, that's awesome. As a PvEer, I shouldn't be able to jump into an arena and be good simply because I'm raiding Mythic. I should be good because I'm good at PvP, and my gear should reflect that. And same with Mythic Plus. We're at a point now with our item level and with having done Heroic that we can kind of blunder our way through a 10 without any issue, right? If we get our item level a little higher, we could probably blunder our way through a 15 without any issue, similar to how we did in BFA.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I forgive you. But I feel like being able to push past a 15, which in BFA we all did, right? Like, we were timing 20s, 22. I think the highest I timed was a 23 at the end of BFA. Despite never really doing keys. Not like Malza, not like Peppy, not like Zyku, not like Cube. Like, I just kind of went into them because they were like, hey Giles, come tank a 22. And I was like, fuck, okay, sure. Whereas I don't feel like I should be able to do that, and I could only do that because I was in mostly Mythic rating. And because I had a lot of versatility corruption. PvP should not have a hard wall entry like it used to in the past. I agree. I think PvP rankings, I don't know how you feel about this, Catharna, but I feel like if you're a gladiator, you should get matched with gladiators and gladiators only. And it feels like, especially now that we have hard cutoffs in PvP where if you're not 1800 rating, you cannot get 1800 rating PvP gear. So there's a point where you're like 1750 and you can't push into 1800 because you're going against people who are 1800 who have an extra 15 eye levels on you because they're 1800.
Well, why can't they make it like Mythics, right? You wouldn't take someone who's item level 160 to a Mythic 10, or even a Mythic to begin with, but it would make sense not to do that.
Yeah, it would,
up against
it
people
would
that are
make
crazy
sense to
high.
put people like in eye level brackets as well as PvP rating. But I suppose it's hard to do. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I'm not Blizzard. Blizzard can come up with a solution. I'll just complain about what's wrong.
Like the many rest of us do.
I shouldn't be able to grind and cheese PvE content and then have an advantage over PvP. Exactly. But the same problem happens at the moment. Boosting in PvP is horrifying. Everyone is boosted.